Fortnite is hiding insane details in some of its biggest collabs. I found 33 of them, and we'll start with Michael Myers' Z-Mode, where he spawns in a knife. Did you know, if you're already holding a knife, he'll actually take the time to swap hands?
Nice.
And for fans of Shohei Ohtani, you might not have known he was referencing a meme in his back bling. While this might look like a random baseball screaming, it's actually a nod to the "let's freaking go" emoji that was originally a baseball before people painted it yellow. Not only that, but Shohei's emote lets you see his dog Decoy Ohtani. He's a super famous celebrity pet who constantly shows up during his games, and in fact, Decoy even has an honorary visa in Tokyo. On one of the back blings, you even get a bobblehead of Decoy, and turns out this is based on a true story. The LA Dodgers once gave away bobbleheads of Shohei and his dog as real-life merch. And with the Adventure Time collab, we got to play video games in this BMO emote. If you look closely, it's not some generic game. Epic actually designed a 2D version of Fortnite where you can spot Jonesy running around. But on the LEGO version of this emote, they swapped it from playing VR to chopping down trees in LEGO Fortnite instead. It's crazy. Did you know that one of the most famous painters alive is hiding in Fortnite? Well, it's an exclusive part of Juice WRLD's crossover. Takashi Murakami was friends with Juice, and they were even planning on making an anime together before he died. So in 2024, Epic invited Murakami to paint this loading screen tribute. You could only earn it during the remix finale, and it was given free to anyone who viewed the concert, and never to return again. Cowboy Bebop was an incredible surprise when it dropped, and fans are freaking out over its insane attention to detail, like a hidden character that nobody noticed. In Faye's back bling, it looks like a regular phone from the show, until you look closer and notice Ed is on the other line. Personally, I love the jukebox emote where you can straight up relax and listen to the Cowboy Bebop opening. Now, I think Lamborghinis are like 100 times more famous than Cowboy Bebop, and yet there's a secret detail on their collab that nobody knows about. You won't even find this in-game. You have to dig into the files of the Lamborghini Countach. Here, you'll discover a codenamed Track Tractor, which sounds kinda random, except the most diehard Lambo fans will know it's a reference. Lamborghini actually began as a tractor building company and moved into sports cars 15 years later. In fact, they still make tractors to this day. But there's a surprisingly controversial detail in Cyberpunk 2077's collab. Johnny Silverhand has a pretty interesting back bling to say the least. In his duffel bag, you can see a nuclear bomb. Spoiler alert, it turns out this is what Johnny detonates before dying in Cyberpunk, wiping out tens of thousands of innocent people. That makes this the darkest back bling in Fortnite. On a more lighthearted note, we have Clix, who not only brought himself to the game, but an original outfit named Sparks. Of course, she is inspired by his main Spark plug, but when you watch the trailer, she is played by Clix's real-life girlfriend.
Where am I?
You'll be fine. I had to get you out of there. Look at you. I don't want you to be stuck in business forever.
Let's take it back to Chapter 5, where I don't think anyone expected to wake up and find Yoda in the game, and yet it happened. But the best part was his details. Equipping the harness edit style on Dagobah Luke would actually let you carry Yoda on your back just like the films. This entire version was designed to work with the back bling, and if you use this cane as a pickaxe, you take it straight from Yoda's grimy little hands. But my personal favorite is whenever you got an elimination, he would giggle. You gotta appreciate details like these, especially with Sabrina Carpenter coming to the game. She had two outfits, and the one in the music pass is secretly a collab with Victoria's Secret. Turns out this dress was what Sabrina wore to kick off her tour, and it's of course a custom design by Victoria's Secret, with a few tweaks to make it, family friendly for Fortnite. Now, one of the most popular DC skins of all time is Harley Quinn, and in Chapter 6, we've got a new version that felt super original. Except, there was a familiar face hiding in this set all along. Harley's back bling is the Bud Pack. Not only is this in the style of a Funko Loungefly backpack, it is actually one of her pet hyenas from the comics, also seen in the Birds of Prey movie. But let's rewind back to Adventure Time for a moment. I showed you the amazing detail in BMO's emote, but that was just one of the secrets you could find here. We were also distracted by the 2D Fortnite on screen that no one looked down. You'll notice that you're sitting on top of a tree stump and it has a face. That's because this is a real character from Adventure Time who is 2 years old for some reason. And if you look even closer, you can spot this tiny snail. He's not here for decoration, he is also a character from the show and appears in pretty much every episode. The animators tried to hide this snail in all kinds of scenarios, and Epic decided to hide him in the emote, continuing the joke years after the show ended. Some details are strangely ads. When Lara Croft returned with a new collab, fans were confused with Fortnite bundling this as the Croft Jeep crossover. They had all three logos in the trailer, and some people thought it was random. But the diehard fans will know Jeep has been a huge huge sponsor of Tomb Raider for years, and at one point they designed an entire Lara Croft game just to put a Jeep Wrangler in it. Now she brought that exact car to Fortnite, and if you look at her back bling, they even shouted out the original design with this adorable little keychain. Now, when I bring up War Machine's arsenal, you would never expect this random weapon to have such an amazing attention to detail. Like when you first pick it up, it looks like this. Very plain and simple, right? Well, when you pick up the turret, there's an animation showing the upgrade. Same thing happens when you grab the jetpack, opening up the thruster flaps on the bottom of your arsenal. And everything becomes complete once you equip the rockets with a tiny unfolding animation that 99% of players would just never spot. And with the Invincible collab, Fortnite decided to shake things up with a free outfit. Duplicate was now available for everybody, which was technically the best way to bring her powers to the game. Now that she was free, lobbies would be filled with players rocking Duplicate, showing off her duplication skills without any mythics needed. It was insanely clever. And that's not the only way that Epic has been 2 steps ahead. With Mortal Kombat, we got an emote that let you test your might. They had this huge power meter on the left, and while it stays the same for almost every outfit, there are a handful of characters that can break everything. Larger skins like the chicken from Family Guy or Thanos won't just snap the llama in two, they'll smash the entire statue to pieces. Now, what if that llama was alive? Well, in Lionel Messi's case, he turned it into a goat. Obviously, everyone calls Messi the GOAT, so it makes sense, but this emote has a secret that can only be unlocked if you see it as Leo. Usually, the GOAT will bot you, but with Messi, he'll celebrate.
Messi.
Now I gotta talk about BMO one more time because he's just so adorable. I've been bringing up his emote a few times, but players were more focused on the fact you could wear him as a back bling. Here, the cuteness really shines. As you're running around, BMO will celebrate after getting eliminations. He is one of the bounciest characters you could equip, and that's because he is just like this in the show. If we're talking about collabs that are truly faithful to their source material, then Mariah Carey is one of the best examples out there. When she came to the game, fans immediately spotted her golden dress. Turns out this dress is the exact same one Mariah wears on the album cover for The Emancipation of Mimi. I didn't know this, but it's one of the best-selling albums of the 21st century, and now it's in Fortnite. But that's not all. Her edit style could be considered the deluxe edition of the Fortnite crossover, because as you could probably guess, she is wearing the deluxe version of her outfit. I mean, seriously, you gotta appreciate the details here. Back to the Icon series, we talked about the Spark skin, but the headliner of this collab was Clix himself, and his set is full of secrets, like the toilet paper pickaxe. Seems like a funny joke on the surface, but it goes deeper when you start hitting enemies with it. The more you slam this hammer, you'll realize it uses toilet paper. But as for his back blings, both of these are based on Clix's setup. The bear is always featured in a stream background, and this is obviously his real-life keyboard. Personally, I love Clix's edit style. While most Icon series creators throw a crazy outfit on their skin to look cool, he went and added pajamas. What he wears while streaming, and of course that means he has no shoes. If you prefer crazy costumes, then Sub-Zero has you covered, although I'm more interested in this guy's ice cream card. This is taken directly from the Mortal Kombat games. They added a new feature decades ago called Friendships, which are less brutal ways to celebrate, and of course one of these is handing out ice creams to your buddy. That's not the only thing they've taken from the games, they also added one of the strangest Easter eggs in Fortnite history. Usually, Epic hides stuff like this as an item on the map, not something that pops up on your screen. Left a ton of players confused, but if you're a Mortal Kombat veteran, you already know this is one of the franchise's most famous secrets. Now last year, I don't think any of us expected to wake up and have an entire season invaded by Snoop Dogg. And because this crossover was so huge, Epic went overboard with the references. Like, you know those lowriders that were all over the map? Well, these are 1966 Cadillacs, the exact same car Snoop drives in Gin and Juice. As for his outfits, you can spot Snoop wearing a jersey with the same colors as the LA Lakers, and when you equip the padded version, it would even show the number 24, a heartwarming tribute to Kobe Bryant from Snoop Dogg. He's not the only person he left a shout out for. He's the owner of an after-school team called the Snoop Youth Football League, and of course they will be jaw-dropped when they realized he put them in his Fortnite concert. In fact, on the battle bus, you could even see their initials broadcasted to millions of people. And yet just a few months later, we would have moved on from Snoop and we're now looking up at the giant Godzilla on the map. Let me tell you, Fortnite weren't messing around with this one. He is known for having gigantic scales on his back, and already that's a problem for any game where 90% of cosmetics go on your back. Luckily, they came up with a solution. If you equip any back bling, it'll straight up delete Godzilla's scales. And to truly show how much they love the franchise, Epic left a sneaky reference in the Godzilla quests. They asked you to travel 1954 meters in the air, and I said that weird because obviously it's the same year that the first movie released. Hope you guys enjoyed. It's been Tommy, and keep it here on Top 5 Gaming.